Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the Mine Train Coaster contest. In this contest, all the players had to create a Mine Train coaster in OpenRCT2. Now, we got 25 entries for this round. In this video I will show all of them. I'll start with the one that got the lowest score and I'll finish by announcing who's the winner of this round. Now, because we have so many entries, for the first 10 entries or so, I'll keep it very brief. But the entries that scored a bit higher, I'll go into a little bit more detail. Anyway, let's begin. Right, in 25th place we have the entry from Mystic. Mystic is a newcomer on my server. He created this minescape with lots of fire. There's this mine train coaster here in the middle, with also a big tower that has an observation tower in it. Alright, next up is the entry from LOL69. LOL69 created this mine train coaster here in the middle of the map. Not really sure, it looks like it is a recreation, runaway mine train. I think it's Six Flags, GA, not really sure, Great Adventure probably. But yeah, the mine train coaster, nothing special. I think it won't blow anyone away. But it is a recreation. I don't know the original coaster, so I don't really know how accurate it is. I like that there's also this little catapult ride in the back, and there's some other nice rides here as well. Okay, next entry is from Bananfanat. Bananfanat created an entry that is what looks like on the height limit of the map. We'll see a junior coaster over here that travels through the mountain. And there's also this mine train coaster, which you can see over here. Now, what I found a little bit annoying is that from most angles you cannot actually see all of the map, which makes it quite hard for me to fully appreciate the park. We'll have to zoom out, at which level you don't really see all the detail anymore. So when building a map, I definitely recommend not building it all the way to the height limit, so everybody can appreciate everything you have built. Alright, in 22nd place we have the entry from Somfy. Somfy recreated several scenes from Hollow Knight. Now I sadly am not familiar with this game. I know it exists, but I've never played it. Over here we can see a white castle. Here's some caves with crystals. I do quite like the way these crystals are done over here. Not really sure what we have over here. Looks like some blue stuff. Here's some more gardens, and over here we see a cave with some ruins. Over here that we see lots of mushrooms, and this, I believe this is a fog land or something. But yeah, probably to the people who have played this game, they will probably recognize some of the scenes of this entry. Okay, next entry is from Plux. Plux said she didn't spend too much time on her entry, but I do think it looks quite nice. It's a nice little layout here. Pretty compact. There's several tunnels. Not really sure if these supports over here fit really well with the track, since they have different colors. That probably could have been made to fit a little bit better, I think. Also the scenery around the map, it's all the same kind of trees. So a little bit more variation probably would have also helped. But I do like the overall look of the map. Okay, the next map is from ATN. This entry is actually a scenario. I believe this is based on, what was the name of the scenario again? Mineral Park. I think that's pretty cool. You can see a snowy landscape over here with this part of the land dug out. Here in the middle you can see this mine train coaster. Yeah, I think it looks, the map itself looks pretty cool. I do think the mine train coaster maybe is a little bit too tall, because it picks up a lot of speed in this layout, especially in these sections inside this Heartland Twister coaster track. Alright, next entry is from Morgan Cookson, a newcomer on my Discord. Now again, quite a compact layout, lots of twists and turns and tunnels. Yeah, I think this layout actually looks pretty nice. Also quite a lot of scenery around it, lots of this mine-themed stuff. I can always recommend mixing these buildings with some stuff from other themes. because if you keep using only the mine stuff, it will often look repetitive quite quickly. But I think over here a nice combination was used. I like how they mix with these canyon rocks. I think that looks pretty nice. Now I do think in this map maybe a little bit too many rides were crammed into the map. Like for example this tiny Virginia reel. I mean it's probably better to just take a little bit more space for the coaster. Give the map some breathing space. Okay, next entry is from Matt Am, and Matt Am made this monstrosity of a mine train coaster. It's on this huge rock. Now I'm not going to follow a train around because I believe the layout takes something like 7 minutes to complete. It's pretty insane. But yeah, it does look a little bit repetitive with all these turns into and out of the mountain. But yeah, that's to be expected of such a long layout. Yeah, it's Matt M always likes making huge coasters, and this entry definitely proves that once again. Okay, next entry is from Horror Girl, and Horror Girl made this coaster here, tucked into this corner of the map. Now I think it looks quite nice with these canyon pieces. What I can recommend with these canyon pieces, however, is to mix them up a little bit, because right now it does look quite repetitive. Also the shapes, for example, you could lower the ground here a bit, put some of these corners and make it look like some cracks in the rocks, and that will definitely make these canyon pieces look nicer. Yeah, overall I see some nice landscaping. Also like all these dinosaurs in between the jungle. Yeah, lots of nice foliage around. Overall I think it looks pretty neat. Okay, next entry is from TollJK26. He created this mine train coaster, which sprawls across the map. Now, I do have to say this layout does look a little bit like a spaghetti. Yeah, I would not recommend actually using S-bends in your layout. Your coaster will flow much more nicely if you just use nice curves which flow into each other. And S-bend, it's hard to explain, but it kind of disrupts the flow of your coaster. I definitely don't recommend using them. Now, what I do like in this map is the buildings. This building looks pretty nice with this whip ride, which actually uses the spinning wild mouse coaster vehicles. That's pretty neat. Some more nice buildings over here. And there's also this ride over here, which also has an impressive structure. And of course there's this crazy Ferris wheel over here. Alright, next entry is from Wes. Wes made this beautiful mine train coaster which runs along this path here. Now I quite like how it's laid out here with also these buildings right next to it. That's some nice usage of this space. Definitely fits into the theme here. Layout of the coaster is also really nice. I think that this layout looks really good. Also decorated quite nicely. The only thing I like less about this entry is this big sea of path over here. I don't mind having wider paths, but I do think this might be a little bit excessive. Okay, next entry is from BE Player. BE Player made this wonderful landscape here with these two mountains. It looks like a BE Player actually used a lot of these South American pieces from the expansions. Here you can see it with them invisible. I think it actually works pretty nicely to make this mountain. Also like with these patches of grass here. That's pretty nice. Now coaster is also pretty nicely decorated. Now some of these mountain pieces are a little bit glitchy when the train passes over them. But yeah, that's just the nature of these pieces. Not really sure it can be completely avoided. But yeah, it's definitely something to watch out for when using these scenery pieces to build something. Now here's a nice little mine town. There's also a launch section over here into a drop track. That's also pretty fun. Let me speed it up a little bit. It does go quite far up here. But yeah, here you can see the vehicles drop down into this hole here. Yeah, overall I think it's pretty nice. I think it would have been even nicer with maybe with a few more eye catchers. Maybe a nice little tower ride over here, for example. That would have been nice. Okay, next entry is from Solex. Now Solex, I believe he went on holiday, so he didn't have too much time. But he did finish an entry before he went. Now what's fun about this entry is that when the train waits in the station here, a locomotive actually drives backwards here, and it will look like it's picking up the vehicle. Here you can actually see what that looks like. So the locomotive is now actually in front of the train, and at some point they will split again. So the locomotive drives off here, see you later, and the rest of the train travels through this track here. I think that's a really neat trick. So that's a little bit of a barrel roll over here. But yeah, I think that's really cool. Some really nice trickery. I definitely love when people use some trickery in their mine train coaster. Here you can see the next train going. So yeah, I think that's really fun. Alright, next entry is from Lurker, and Lurker actually built his entry in Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. You can actually load Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 save files in OpenRCT2, and here we see such a file. Now here it travels slowly up the lift hill, and then yeah, I think it has a really nice layout, lots of nice large curves. Doesn't do anything crazy, but I think it just looks wonderful, especially how it travels in between all these buildings here. Now the buildings are typical what people who still play RCT1 like to make. So yeah, lots of landscaping raised up with some of these urban themed towers in between. Yeah, I think the buildings here look beautiful. And the landscaping, yeah, it's a Lurker entry, so the landscaping also looks top-notch. Right, next entry is from Astray Life. Now, Astray Life made this wonderful mine train coaster. I think it looks wonderful here in this landscaping. Lots of jagged rocks with the trees on top of them, some scenery in between. But yeah, I like how the land raises here and how the coaster travels through this landscape. I think it's beautifully decorated, and yeah, I like that there's also another coaster traveling around on this mountain. You can also see this wooden wild mouse over here. Here you can see the coaster drop out of the mountain at the back. Another neat trick that the Stray Life used here is these larger tunnels. I believe there's some invisible inverted coaster track here, and that makes for these large, yeah, these nice large tunnels here. I think that actually looks great. Yeah, it's quite fun to follow this coaster around through this landscape, and I think Stray Life did a great job here. I also love the way he made these buildings here. Alright, we've reached the top 10 of entries. Now, if you think I'm going through these entries too fast, you can download and check out these entries for yourself. They will be available from my website and from my Discord server. You can find a link to my Discord server in the video description. Now, I think this is a great entry from Techno Kiwi 91. I love this waterfall over here. Also some beautiful decoration here for this path using single rail coaster track. That also looks nice. And there's just nice foliage throughout the entry, and some nice rock work along the river here as well. Now, what I think is a shame is how this mine train coaster is tucked away here in the corner of this map. I would have loved for it to sprawl a bit more. Maybe this over here would have been a nicer location for it. Maybe crossing over the river. There are so many possibilities. So yeah, kind of a shame that it's tucked away here. But I do have to say it looks really nice. I quite like the track combination that was used here, and I love these rocks here with these waterfalls next to them. Okay, next entry is from Timmy Tuner, and he created this huge mine train coaster with some really fun elements. Over here it does a little shoestring thingy here, so it actually pretends to drop down here, but probably underground there's a track which where part of the train goes up and actually pulls the vehicle back here as it is going down. Yeah, I love coasters which do shenanigans like this. Yeah, and it's just fun to follow this coaster through the map. Yeah, it covers a huge area of the map, and yeah, it's always nice to see such a nice entry from a newcomer on my Discord server. I believe this is the first entry from Timmy Tuner, so it's all the more impressive. Now we can see some other nice rides in the park as well. Here we can see one of these Himalaya rides. This looks like one of these Larsen loopers, which is beautifully built into the landscape here. And over here we can see one of these mine rides. It looks like the one that I made in Imagination Mega Park. So that's always fun to see. Alright, here's the entry from Dark Raider. Now he created this wonderful mine train coaster, which actually has two trains, which sort of dual with each other, at least on the lift hill. Now I think it looks great. There's just lots of wonderful decoration next to it, and it just looks really clean. So I really enjoyed that. The only thing I would have liked to see a bit more is maybe a little bit more dueling between the trains. It looks like they only are close to each other at the lift hill, so I think that's a shame. But on the other hand, I do think it looks really nice. Yeah, I love these entries from Dark Raider. They always look really clean and not really messy at all. And yeah, that's just something that I really enjoy. So I love this merry-go-round. Something else which maybe could have been nicer, well, at least something which I don't really like, is how this path here kind of looks like a checkerboard. I would always recommend trying to find some tiles that are a bit closer to each other in color from all angles. Now these are actually the same tiles but rotated, but yeah, they have quite a bit of color difference. So I always like trying to find some tiles which look a little bit more like each other, so you get less of a checkerboard effect. But yeah, overall, once again, a wonderful entry from Dark Raider. Alright, the next entry is from Supranormal. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Yeah, it's been quite a long time since he last joined, and yeah, I'm happy that he joined again, because once again he made a beautiful entry. Now he made this big mine train coaster. At first it travels through these buildings here, then goes through the mountain, and here it pops up next to this beautiful waterfall. Yeah, we can only really see it from one angle, so let's just look at it from here. But yeah, I think there's some really nice interaction. Also this beautiful water tower over here, using lots of different track pieces. That's pretty nice. Yeah, this mine train coaster travels through a lot of the park. I think that's always a good idea when you have to make a ride for this contest, to definitely make it the centerpiece of the park. But here we can see it again. We can see a little bit of custom supporting on the track, which I also think looks great. Now, some really nice buildings which the coaster travels through. This building looks amazing. And there's some other beautiful rides in the park as well. Love this teacups ride over here, which actually has a merry-go-round in the middle. Yeah, Supranormal definitely did a great job here. And I'm happy he returned to play in a contest once again. Okay, next entry is from Jag140. Now, this is definitely one of my favorite entries of the bunch. Yeah, I think this entry is amazing. Yeah, so here the coaster travels up this beautiful lift hill with this really interesting support structure. And it travels all throughout the map. It has several really fun elements. Here it even has a vertical loop, which you can see here. It has a spike here, so over here it goes into a reverse section. Yeah, it's just a really cool coaster. Now I'm not really sure if well, it is a little bit on the low side, I think. Well, the score is for the amount of content that is in the park. Well, I believe my vote was a perfect 10. But yeah, I do think maybe some people didn't really think it looked like a mine train coaster in the end. But yeah, overall, I think this is a wonderful entry. Wherever you look, these buildings are just so nicely done. Yeah, Jag140, he loves using the expansion objects, and when used correctly, well, you can see here how nice everything will look in the end. These buildings are just amazing. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite entries of this round. Really great job from Jag140. Okay, then we have a tie for 4th place. This entry is from Madazog. Madazog recreated a beautiful scene from an image that I saw. Basically was a Japanese town or building covered in snow. And yeah, this townscape is just beautiful. These buildings, they look great. Really nice mixture of different elements were used here. Also some really clever object usage to make these nice looking windows here. That's just great. I also love how these roofs were used to create this sort of artificial shore of the river. That looks wonderful, very creative. Also love these the scenery that was used here to make these blotches of snow. That's really nice. Yeah, over here we have the mine train coaster. Now, I think it looks great. It has a beautiful support structure. My only criticism would be that it's really tucked away on this little corner of the map. I definitely would have liked to see it cover a little bit more of the map, to have it be a little bit more of the centerpiece. But yeah, overall, this is a great entry. Alright, here's the entry from 30. This one also got 4th place. 30 made this beautiful mine train coaster. Starts somewhere over here, and then it actually has 3 separate lift hills, and it travels all throughout the map. Now, it's quite fun to follow this coaster. 30 put lots of nice, beautiful details in the map. So this lovely tunnel here actually used quite a lot of grass, but it's all mowed grass, which actually gives a nice and clean look. It looks like this coaster travels through all these gardens, which is really nice. You also see some mine scenery over here. Not really sure if this is actually a ride. You can see an elevator over here. It's just in test mode, so it's just for decoration. But I think this mine shaft looks wonderful. Now, also a little artificial pond over here with some fountains. And finally here it actually also does a little underground tunnel. Yeah, I think the layout doesn't really blow me away, but it's decorated so nicely, and it's it travels through the map so nicely. So all in all, I think this coaster looks great. Now, what a lot of people actually really liked is these circular stairs over here. They look amazing. Yeah, there's just lots of trickery going on here, hidden with these trees. If you look like this. You can actually see it's lots of perspective trickery here to actually make these stairs. Sorry, I ruined them. But yeah, I think this is a beautiful entry from 30. Okay, here's entry from Low Poly. Now, Low Poly is known for always making mine train coasters, especially when he joins a multiplayer round. And so yeah, he was really happy when the mine train coaster got chosen as the ride for this contest. Now, I think this mine train coaster looks wonderful. You can actually see a dual station over here. That's pretty neat. Now, I think this coaster layout looks great. Yeah, it travels through all of the map. Doesn't do anything spectacular. Kind of more of a family ride, which is what the mine train coaster usually does. But it travels through the landscape really nicely. Has some nice interaction, for example, with this tunnel over here. This bridge is also decorated really nicely. I love the helix over here in between these rocks. And yeah, this coaster is just done in a great way. It has some really nice interaction with the landscape, which is really good. Now, my one point of critique for this map was that I probably would have liked to see some more other rides in this map. Nice tower ride probably could have helped, something over here, or maybe a ride over here, maybe a twist or anything. I think that would have, at least it would have at least bumped up the score. I would have given the park a little bit upwards. But yeah, still, I think this is an incredible looking coaster. Alright, there's just 2 entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Okay, here's the entry from Manticore and the Brew. And they made this dueling coaster. No, I think the dueling here is really nice. This pair of coasters has some great interaction. I believe it's actually one coaster where a train actually does both tracks before it returns back to the station. So it's one of those Mobius dueling coasters. So here one of the trains continues through the track, and the other train actually goes on a drop track here. And it's actually really nice to see this. So here it slowly goes back, and then you can see it drop down. And these lift vehicles actually also move down. That's really nicely done. You can see them travel up again. So yeah, it definitely looks like the train actually drops. Well, it actually looks like the track drops down. This is really nicely synchronized. I believe there's actually also an invisible station over here, which helps with the synchronization. But yeah, that's really nicely done. And here you can see the trains slowly travel up the lift hill again. One going backwards, one going forwards. Yeah, Manticore and the Brew did such a nice job on this. That's really nicely done. But yeah, that was just the coaster. The map also looks wonderful. These buildings over here, they look amazing. There's some other rides in the map as well, which you can find mostly in this area. And then over here, there's actually this big port for space ships, which also looks amazing. I like how they hollowed out this piece of the land to put all this in between. So yeah, it's a really impressive entry from Manticore and the Brew. Alright, and the final entry is from Velvet. Velvet joined a contest years ago. So it's nice to see Velvet back in a contest. Now here you could see a large train, and actually the last part of the train split off, and that's this roller coaster part you see here. Now that's some beautiful trickery. The train actually traveled all the way up the hill with the train, and only here with the coaster train, only here they split. But yeah, the synchronization is done in a great way. The coaster travels all throughout the map here. You can see it pop up again. Yeah, it has quite a long ride duration. Some nice elements like this little switchback over here. Here's another switchback, so it goes forward again. Yeah, the landscaping also done in a great way. I just love the foliage here. A really nice mix of trees and flowers. Yeah, and gives the map a truly nice atmosphere. That's really nicely done. I also love this merry-go-round here. This roof, very simple, but it looks so nice. I really like it. Now on this side of the river, we actually see another coaster, and there's also this train ride which travels around. And what I actually like about this train ride is that, well, we're probably not going to see it in this video, but yeah, at some point when this train leaves, another train will go in the opposite direction, and here they will pass each other on this spot. Yeah, it looks really neat. I definitely recommend you to go and download these entries and check it out for yourself. It's really nicely done. Alright, now it's time to reveal which one of these last two entries is the winner of this round. Is it this Mine Train Coaster from Velvet? Or is it the Spaceport from Manticore and the Brew? And the winner of the Mine Train Coaster contest is... Manticore 007 and the Brew. Now, both of these last two entries looked amazing, but of course only one can be the winner, and that's the entry from Manticore and the Brew. And they actually scored quite a bit higher than the second place entry. And I think they actually got one of the highest scores that were ever given in these contests. Now this entry is beautiful. You can really see they spent a lot of time creating this entry. So I'm happy for them that they scored so well. Now this contest had quite a few returning players, which is always nice. And these returning players also created wonderful entries. And I really enjoyed watching all of them. Now a new contest will start soon. If you want to join one of these contests, they're for players of all skill levels, and they're a great way to improve at the game. If you want to join, just become a member on my Discord server. You can find a link in the video description. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.